So you're four stacked with everyone but the Kiri here.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a diamond. It was either a plat one game, uh, just before I ranked up to Diamond 5, or it's in Diamond 5.
Hmm.
And then everyone I'm stacked with is like low plat, high goldish.
Okay, I see.
Just a lot
One
of my
of
mates, yeah.
one of these situations. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. You kind of covered everything that I wanted to ask regarding rank. Um, so the first thing that we go over every single coaching session is the comp matchup. How do you want to play this? Based on who you're playing and based on who else you have in your team comp and based on the point, how do you want to play this?
I mean, we've got a pretty hard brawl comp,
Hmm.
so I think I just want to. We don't have the Lucio, so we can't like rush them down because we don't have the speed boost. But
Yeah.
largely, I think you want to stack on each other. Maybe the BAP gets to take an angle, maybe the Kiri gets to take an angle. Uh, but me myself, I probably just want to force it down a choke and just lay into them, I guess.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. I would say Torb, option for Torb to take an angle as well.
Yeah,
As long as the Ryan, the May, and the Bap are primarily stacked with each other, we should have a decent form of brawl that's kind of hard to push past, right?
yeah,
Maybe as the fight progresses, our Bap might be able to take like a vertical angle. But because we have the Kiri, Bap doesn't necessarily need to do that as much, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Torbjorn can also stack down on you as well, which definitely helps. Cool. So I'm just gonna see how we take first fight. We decide to play from cage, which is fine. Yeah, it's a good angle to brawl or a good position to brawl. Do you know what a kill box is?
Yes.
Wonderful. It's always simple when you understand that. So, just for people watching that don't know what a kill box is, a kill box is just an area where you would want to take a fight. An example is here. An example is here. Anywhere that you see a lot of brawls being taken, whether it's point, a point is also going to be a kill box. Even if you don't necessarily want to take the brawl there, it's going to be a situation where brawls will take place here because they're going to try and occupy this space. So here is a decent pathing, lots of natural cover. So even if they are taking angles, they can't really shoot at you here. Obviously, we have the mini here, the other health pack mini here, you know. And
Yeah.
then this is slightly further, but this is more in control by the enemy team from this position.
Hmm.
Is there a reason why you're pathing away to point this early?
I think I just saw the eraser and I didn't want to get juggled hard into the corner, so I moved out into somewhere a bit more open, uh, somewhere where I could move away if needed, I guess, because then I can path either down the stairs and just go to point or go back left and fight the corner that's further back.
See, I understand the thought process, but I genuinely don't think that you need to move from this position here. Because by going into an area of open space against the comp that actually, I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna come back to that point that I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're playing to brawl, I think that your team comps brawl and the enemy team comps brawl very, very similar. I'm not gonna regard Brig as a brawl character in the enemy comp because if Brig brawls into us, then we kill her, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like the brawl that you really need to be concerned about is the Reaper Orisa. Um,
Yeah.
the reason why I said sacrificing this brawl spot into the Orisa, obviously Orisa has more poke than us. But actually, for a
Bro.
brawl
Yeah.
comp, our comp actually has a lot of poke. A lot of poke. So if we were to sacrifice this sort of position here that's close, we need to now be playing for angles. We need to now be looking to set that up, right?
Yeah.
Because our win condition in this particular moment is literally playing to outbrawl them. Sorry, outpoke them.
Yeah.
Our win condition in this particular position is playing to outpoke them.
Oh, there you go. That's the other thing. My Bath told me he went up to the high ground. Uh, I just saw the nade and remembered that. He told me he was going to play from here. He made that call that he'd rotated up, so then I rotated out.
So where does he park there?
He goes, yeah.
So you're still playing for corners here.
I'm slowly remembering this game. It was like a week ago.
Yeah. It's still like the team play is not great. I'm just trying to see what you could do in this particular moment. The team play isn't great. The reason why I'm saying that is. So, brawl positions. Tracer takes an off angle. We walk. In this particular moment, you're not really covering or protecting anything. You're kind of in the open. You're kind of vulnerable. On top of this, our DPS and our Kiriko are taking brawl angles. Like, Kiriko shouldn't be there. Bap, I would argue, shouldn't be there. Wherever Bap is. I'm just going to play this through. We need to be playing for more map control if we want to play for the poke. Where you stand kind of dictates where our DPS can swing. And this is the issue that I have with this play. Right?
Yeah.
You standing here means that we can have DPS here. It means that we can have DPS here. It means that we could arguably have this high ground. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas right now, it might be more viable to flip, which is exactly what you're doing. From this position, where do you think our DPS can take?
Because of where I am?
Yeah, because where you are. This is important.
They can play downstairs, bottom left. They can play the high ground. They can play like the bridge. They can play back here as well. They can probably go into cage as well, but that's a bit riskier maybe.
I was actually looking for, the cage shout with option to even swing here. Because if you think about it from this position, who's going to brawl out this off angle? They would have to hard turn, which means that the people over here or over here get value regardless. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The reason why it's fine to get them to brawl on individuals is because a brawl into a poke comp that takes loads of angles has to take one entire brawl here, use resources, turn around, take another brawl here, use resources, take another brawl here. Whereas the people that poke just have to poke and don't even need to use resources. If they walk away here, we can just rotate to point side and then take the brawl anyway because our comp is a brawl comp. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, the structure of your team is kind of hard to just map that out and show you. Because right now, we're a good minute in and you're 16 to ult. Do you see what I mean? If we're playing for poke, you need to make sure you're hitting big fire strikes. Whether that's on the Brig or on the Ana or on the Reaper. We still need to force out these high value cooldowns. Even if you're on Reinhardt just trying to position yourselves. Like, it looks a bit lost from where you are, but at the same time it's not completely your fault. Then that's fine. Just hold point. That's fine as well. Now we're looking to stuff and play the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. When you're playing a corner like this, we need someone to scout. As in, we need someone to call when stuff like this is happening. Because I don't want the mistake of everyone turning, everyone going on the tracer, for the tracer to blink out, and whilst that's all happening, the enemy team passes this corner. Because that's when we're screwed, right?
Yeah.
On top of this, you say you're stacked with your Torb? As in, your Torb is a friend of yours or whatever? Yeah. Then just tell the Torb to mark that angle. If we don't have something like a dive, just tell the Torb to put a turret here, so then it just triggers. Then our Torb can call it out, and then either our Torb can contest or our Kiri can contest, whilst the rest of us maintain our structure, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I'm covering so much team play in the macro is because as the main tank, you need to get good at stuff like this. You know, calling things out and just seeing the unseen. Because in this game, the characters with low mechanics often have intelligence-based roles. And I can tell because you know the word killbox and stuff like that. I know that you're a fairly intelligent player. You're gonna be more intelligent than other people in your rank if you say that this is plat diamond, because
Yeah.
kill boxes and stuff like that, that's masters pushing on GM, or at least it was before like content creators actually got good and started teaching people how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice, we're maintaining our structures, which is good. We're backing very easily. You're shielded up, you're backing very easily, when really you should be swinging, and you should be trying to time your shield with the Ananade. That's the only thing you need to block now, the Ananade,
Yeah.
right? But even then, there's less pressure to actually block the Ananade, because who do you have in your team comp?
We've got Kiri.
You've got the Kiri, and the Suzu
Yeah.
is meant to be used for you. Now, it's an issue if our team is getting forced, and let's say if our Kiri is throwing a Suzu on our Mei, that's a big issue, because Mei has a cleanse of her own. Bap has lamp. A lamp to stop himself from dying to like a random purple is a decent trade. It's like not ideal, but it's a decent trade. That Suzu needs to be forced on you every single time. So make sure you're calling that out. Save Suzus for me because they have a nano. But you're given space. You're given space. I feel like you back into an awkward position where you're not really hitting a whole bunch of fire strikes, even though you probably should. But also you're outside of swing range. So I would much rather you be here holding your structure than if Ana is inting like this. This is a position, look, you know, everyone can see the Ana from this position based on where you're holding, because we're in control of everything behind. So Kiri and Torb is spamming out that Ana. That Ana is going to back up 100% of the time. That Ana is going to back up because she doesn't want to die. And you see how I can predict that before it even happens.
Yeah.
Like, so just maintain your structure. It's the most important thing in a brawl comp. You don't need to go for that. That's poor target pyro, because your team clearly has that cover. She's half, you know, she's half, and you didn't even have to look at her.
Yeah, she's gonna move herself, so I should just hold like wherever I was.
What's the what's the goal of this game? What's the intention?
To win.
To win, exactly. And how do you win?
You don't panic. You keep it together by the enemy team, and
I'm not even looking for a philosophical answer like that. I'm like, just when the point hits 100.
Yeah.
That's the only answer I'm looking for, when the point hits 100. So if Ana is half and Ana is here, is she gonna be able to go on point? Is she gonna be able to sustain her team to go on point?
No. So then you got free percentage. So
right now, if the Ana's here, we're winning the game. Right now, we're winning the game. And the longer you hold a structure, and the longer the structure doesn't break, you'll win the game. If your structure doesn't break in 100 seconds, you win the game, because they can't push past.
Yeah.
If they push past, that's your structure being broken, and you just have to adapt to that. So right now, just hold your position, because right now you're in an awkward spot. It's harder for your teammates to LOS you. You definitely don't want your Kiriko TPing in on you there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All this time, you could just still be chilling on this corner, and they're not doing anything. The only person, or the only people that can force you out, is Reaper on his own, Orisa on her own, or Ana combined with pressure of someone else that could probably do it on their own anyway, like Reaper or Orisa. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So literally just hold the angle. And if you're holding this angle, you would have shatter by now, because it's been 2 minutes. 50 to shatter 2 minutes in is like really bad, actually. You know?
Yeah.
And it's literally just as simple as you swing it. That's a big fire strike. And notice how you got that fire strike from playing on the corner I've told you to play on this entire time. Even if you're half HP, stay on this corner, shield up. It's very telegraphed. You can see Reaper and you can hear Reaper coming from a mile away. Orisa is a big fat robot. She has to walk at you straight, you know? Like, you'll know when to back up. Right now, you're backing up way too early. When nothing's even pressuring you. Use this fire strike for ult charge. Do you need to follow this up? I would say that was fine. I would say that that's alright.
Yeah, the Mei commed the they ice blocked and the supports were low in the corner, so I just pinned in.
Yeah, cool. And that's how you can dictate tempo. They were pushing in, so this is a very good lesson as well. When this happens, They force point. So they're actually forcing points. They're trying to break your structure. Our Torb gets dragged away, which is it's a good thing because Torb deals with it. But you kind of regain momentum, regain tempo by getting this trade. Look at where Orisa is. Orisa is fully prepared to go and stack on the Reaper on cart. So we now need to make a play which stops them from pushing, which is you charging the Ana. Look, Orisa even turns around and walks back when she realizes it's lost.
Yeah.
Who do you shout here?
Ana, if you can get it off.
Yeah. Viable. I would more so say every single person on their team has cooldowns to stop your shatter. So if you're landing a shatter on one person and you're timing the shatter where they've used the cooldown that stops you from blocking it or stop, you know what I'm trying to say. If they use a cooldown like Sleep or Suzu or TP or Wraith or Fortify or you count 3 blinks or they just recall and you know, how good are you judging recall timing?
I'm okay. I don't really play against Tracer that often, to be honest.
Fair. But yeah, if you see something get landed, like, just shatter it.
Yeah.
Solo shatter. That's all you need to do here. Or, if you get better at ult tracking, I don't know how good you are at ult tracking. This Reaper should probably have ult by this point. But obviously,
I'm trying to do. I don't know, like, all the numbers. I kind of try and get a gut feeling.
Yeah.
In terms of burst ult, I'm not that great at it because it's like you don't know how good they're playing, so I don't know how quick they're getting ult, if that makes sense. But when it comes to like second and third ults, that's something I try to calm where it's like, oh, we've used window, they should have, you know, the support ults up by now. And then say next fight they use nano, I'll probably have a good idea when the second nano is gonna come following that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I have a lot of things to say about that. First and foremost, when it comes to fight planning and keeping a track of like your structure and stuff like that, that is what you as a main tank should primarily be thinking. I just think ult tracking as a player in general makes ranked a whole lot easier because even if you're not comming it, it just determines how you would like to take that. Yeah,
things that might happen.
And so if you realize that your fight planning is getting worse because you've been so focused on ult tracking and stuff, then just disregard the ult tracking. But my word of advice, being someone, I'm a main support player, Lucio, Brig, blah, 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 you know? I had to be in charge of ult tracking back in Overwatch 1 when scoreboard wasn't even a thing. And so what I would like to say is the people that tend to use scoreboard tend to be worse at ult tracking. The people that knew how to ult track back in Overwatch 1 and were good at it, that's unchanging, you know? Doing it the traditional way, I sound like an old man, but doing it the traditional way actually allows you to be much better at it. So the things that I look out for, and don't get me wrong, I use scoreboard now to an extent. Like I know if Reinhardt has 1.5k damage, he has shatter, you know? But I would look at the kill feed, right? Mid fight. You know, if the Reaper kills 4 in first fight, I'm gonna call, okay, the Reaper's gonna get ult mid fight, you know?
Yeah.
Just not even looking at the damage. So look at the kill feed, look at teammates' ult charges. So like I said, if they're if our BAP has 100 to window and the fight lasted a minute and a half and they didn't window, then they have window. So you can look at our ult charge in the mirror. But again, that goes back down to a whole bunch of game sense because let's say a Baptiste with a ball is not going to get ult as fast as a Baptiste with a Ryan. So team comps, an understanding of the role, kill feed. If you're looking at kills, if you're looking at damage, if you're looking at heals, obviously the time of the fight. So, you know, if it was one fight that was like a huge like 20 to 80% stall, then chances are, if nobody used ults, most of the team would actually have ult or is going to get ult. There's like
Yeah.
literally every single thing on your screen. You should be thinking, okay, how much value did this person get? Once again, if the fight was long, if the fight was a very long fight, but their BAP died first 30 seconds, you know what I mean? That all has to
Yeah.
go towards the entire ult track. And that's why the kill feed is actually your best friend. Like, the kill feed is unironically your best friend. If you keep a track of the kill feed and then match that up with the actual scoreboards, you'd get a slight indication of, okay, were they still like stealing kills, or were they actually doing
Actually
a
getting
whole bunch
like
of damage?
full kills. Yeah.
So kill feed 1, boom. Scoreboard 2, and teammates / mirrors, you know, and then obviously the whole, okay, is this person's role the same role as our person's role in this team
Yeah.
comp matchup? And that's how you should ult track, okay? Nice, that's fine. But you're backing up. So after that, getting low, shield up, healed up,
Just go back to the
just
corner.
go back.
Yeah.
Literally just go back. Very small. You're trying to burn instead of getting out. If you had charge, I would just charge out personally. Reinhardt swing into a fortified Orisa. She's gonna charge up that ult way faster than you're gonna be able to burn her. Your damage basically does nothing to her unless she's like, you know, if she's low,
That's
go
fair.
for the burn. Go for the burn if she's low. But
There were 4 of us there, I think, and I think that's why I just like swung because it was also in
But
Kiriel.
this is what I'm saying, yeah. But
Yeah.
like in Kiriel, Bap, Torb, Kiri, May, they, you know what I mean, they're gonna kill the Orisa regardless.
They're gonna do it
Yeah,
themselves,
they're
yeah.
gonna kill the Orisa regardless. And what could you do here?
You could go hold further up.
You can go hold further up, exactly. Look at their swaps if you're going to do this, because it will give you an indication of the pathing. I'm seeing Diva, I'm seeing Tracer, I'm
Yeah.
seeing Reaper. I wouldn't be surprised if they just try and go in this route, right?
Yeah.
So be aware of that, and maybe even ask someone or 2 people or a couple of people to stay back. You know?
Yeah.
As a Reinhardt, you can now push up to either here or here, and the second they pass this choke, that's when we can start charging back or running
Yeah.
back.
Just meet them here.
Because yeah, we're gonna get from here to here is roughly the same distance as here to here. And because you have the shatter, you actually have the capability to stop that. People are going to use their movement abilities out of spawn straight away, I guarantee it. Boosters, 1. Tracer, well, that's self-explanatory. Does Reaper Wraith or TP? Reaper TPs. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with all of that being said, we hold close. Diva's taking this path, but if you were holding close, you would have just been able to shatter.
Yeah.
Shatter, they stand up. After shatter, they'll have 5 seconds to touch point. They would have burned all their movement abilities. Then we blizz tall point.
Yeah.
You know? So it's about being proactive and playing the game mode smart. Do you notice how everything that I said is about playing the game mode smart as opposed to... You don't want to stack all your ultimates, so I really like that you held on to the shatter. Now we can just shatter this. Perfectly fine. But now it's a 4v1 anyway. Perfectly fine. Well played. The game becomes very, very predictable. Very, very predictable.
Yeah.
Oh, I just make use of what I find lying around.
How long have you been playing Overwatch for?
Since February, so
So you're new.
about 350, 400-ish hours, if I had to guess.
Not bad, not bad. I'm on
Yeah,
my...
I've got 250 on Steam, so I probably had like 200-ish on Battle.net
Yeah.
before that switch.
I haven't... I'm on my stutter, coffee, Jesus. Okay, I'm on my alt account right now. I would show you my friends list, but most people that are top 500 at the moment, they do it in around 1.5k hours. So in terms of the hours that you've committed to the game and the rank that you are at, diamond, whatever, you're chilling. Like you're on track to be in top 500. Obviously my job is to try and get you there as fast as possible. I think there are really solid foundations. It's just about playing the objective smart right now. You know, farming ult tracking, ult charge. Farming ult charge, getting these ult cycles more consistent so you can actually deadlift the games yourself.
Yeah.
Right now you're playing LOS into the hog. Really smart. Really smart.
This was the worst point for me on this map. Or the worst.
Yeah, playing
the worst
Ryan into a hog is kind of...
is horrible, and I hate it, but yeah.
You should be setting up. Because... Okay, how are you with ability tracking? How often do you actually think about
I keep track of support cooldowns fairly often, so the Suzus, the nades, the sleeps.
But again...
I main Ana when I play support, so I have a good feel
understanding,
for Ana cooldowns, especially in terms of like concussion blast or something. Like in this case, probably not great. It's not something that's on the mind.
Concussion blast.
I just threw that out because I saw that.
It's less of a cooldown that you need to keep track of. But in this situation, the most important one that you need to keep track of is hook. You see the Roadhog, you shield straight away, which is good, or you back up straight away. I would shield just to make sure that I'm shielding, making sure that nobody behind me, if people are behind me, you didn't check to see if people were behind you. Imagine if someone was stacked very close to you, he gets hooked there. So I would shield. Obviously, as you're shielding around the corner, you can look around. Did you know that? The right click, left click, and then look around? Okay, cool. Just to make sure no one's behind you, I would path this way, right? You know for a fact that Hog has used hook now. You know they don't have hook. So I would hold this position, but face this way, just to see if Hog chases. Because right now you're dragging Hog out of position, and it's just the perfect example. See? I don't know why you don't charge.
Yeah.
It's the perfect example of us outsmarting him. A good Reinhardt
just pins him into the well.
Firstly, a hog would never chase a Ryan in this position. The same way that you knew to clear the hog hook, he should be clearing the Reinhardt charge. A good hog would never chase. So the fact that he's chasing, any top 500 player in this situation would just be like, what is Hog doing? Charge into the map, and all of a sudden we're 1 up and you're 40 to ult. You know?
Yeah.
So I would just be setting up. That is the indicator. Even it annoys me because even if you were trying to go for a backline fire strike, this is reactable.
Yeah.
You turn, you should just be hitting charge right now. You should just be reacting to it naturally. So the fact that you shield up, what are you shielding? You shouldn't be worried. And now the context has changed. The Lucio has come on you, so you just swing. Even if you don't sacrifice space here, you swing. Lucio probably dies, or you definitely force Lucio out. You know, and also potentially get a fire strike up on it. Hog probably gets hook back in 2 seconds. Hog has hook at this point, which is fine because your teammates are behind you. Oh, that's just jammy. Like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, it worked. But I don't like seeing people get rewarded for stuff that, like, you know, after they've made a mistake. So I was like...
Yeah, you get rewarded for doing the thing you shouldn't
yeah.
You know what you mean, yeah.
Because it just positively reinforces, like, mid-play. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like, obviously, if you're my teammate and you do that in a tournament, I'm not going to be like, oh, that was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad though.
Yeah.
Why are you prioritizing the spam of a Roadhog over the spam of the entire enemy team? Passing this corner is a throw, as it is, but you go for a fire strike. That's fine. You missed the fire strike. Why are you continuing to walk? And then on top of this, You swung, then on top of this, you turned your back and you shielded into a Zen Mercy. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if you tunnel here, the shield should be to cover as many angles as possible, not one person. So if you're shielding, even if you're here, you could probably just hold right click, you know,
Yeah.
cover this angle here and cover the angle of the hog. 99 to shatter as well. You should be playing your life way more. Way more. You're 1 up on the Mercy, they can't get res. 2 up. Yo, your BAP is popping off. Interesting. Was it the so you've now killed 2. The May chase the May dies. You're just scared of the hook, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you still fire strike the exact same time that he hooks. Which is weird to me because you're opening yourself to getting hooked after carrying it so much. But in my opinion, two die. That should be your trigger. You know what I mean by when I say trigger?
Yeah.
That should be your trigger to actually.
That's like your reason to go do something. Yeah.
Yeah, your reason to do anything. An indicator that makes you change playstyle. So even if you go 2 up, even if you're trying to kill the hook, I would just go faster. Even if it means charging, baiting the hook, you know? Charging in, cancelling, and then putting shield up. That's harder with the timing. But at least it dictates tempo. You're showing the enemy team that you're trying to take space.
Yeah.
So I would be hard walking. The second hog uses hook, I want to be in range to just solo shatter him. Solo shatter him. You have enough time to even walk around him. Charge if you didn't use charge the first time. You know? Like, you could just delete him right now. Because that's about dictating tempo. Which is super important. He's using a healer in your face and he already used the hook. So why don't you just shatter him? You know? Oh, now they've Xenoed.
They trans.
Now they've Xenoed, but that would be what I'm looking for initially. Now they have another hook cooldown, so you want to clear it. Might even be worth trying to catch someone here. You know, with the shatter. Trading. You don't know where the hog is and you charge like this. That you should just look for information more, whether it's pings or like exploit the fact that Reinhardt can look around corners with a shield up and stuff like that. So look for information before you make plays. For sure. Because wait, you died 10 seconds after that?
I get hooked. I get concussion blasted in here, I think. If I'm remembering where in the game this was. Right here.
Cool. You, in general, need to exploit the pathing properly. You haven't taken Cage once. Firstly, Cage is a better position for overall comp than this.
Yeah.
This has an edge off this map, a flank route for the Pharah. You know? Pharah can't flank here. Pharah can flank. She has 1 angle here, 2 angles here, 3 angles here, a 4th angle here, and a place to stabilize where we can't contest her. Whereas Cage, Pharah has 1 angle here, 2 angles here, 3 angles here. But this would actually allow us to just path in enclosed space where Pharah can't spam us, Hog can't hook us. Shield, Pharah can only spam us from above. Hog still can't hook us if you're shielding here. Then boom, we're in our kill box, right?
Yeah.
From here, we could go on backline. Our Kiriko can get creative and just take main, spam, you know? Our Torb can get creative and spam. From here, into the enemy comp. If our Torb just paths main, puts a turret here, and then bunkers up here, do you see what I'm saying? With the option to flank, flip the map, with the option to spam down here. We just need more map control, and you need to think more carefully about the matchup. Because right now we're playing in the open, or we're playing in enclosed space that's low value. The mini here is right by a boop spot. Why would you do that when you can get a free mini here? On top of this, another free mini here. Whereas here, it's like we have a mini here and we have a mini here that's just objectively more open into their comp. I will say, it's situations like this where you might want to consider changing or swapping.
Yeah, I do swap in this game. I don't know exactly when, but I do.
Reinhardt into double fly, basically.
Yeah,
Double fly is Zen.
It's hell, yeah. The biggest thing is this is where I'd want to play like Sigma if it was a push map. I don't like Sigma on control. I just find it hard to do.
Sigma on control with no speed because they can just.
To be good or not, but
I mean,
I personally just struggle with it.
It's decent. Obviously, we had the Sigma meta, but what we would do, we would play Lucio with the Sig.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And that makes it good. However, it's, you know, you can just get walked on pretty easily.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so Ram is fine. Like, Ram is the perfect combination between Sig and Ryan. You can time hooks. You know, you can time walls for hooks or shields for hooks, whatever. Oh, that's rough. The fact that we hold on to Shatter. So I don't like your Shatter usage in general. We hold on to it for so long and we don't get equal value from it. I would much rather you be shattering just 3 sets of 1 people every 10 minutes as opposed to having 2 shatters. Yeah, 2 shatters every 5 minutes and getting 0 or 1. Because right now, 8 minutes in, we shattered 1 person.
Yeah.
D.Va is not a bad swap. D.Va is actually a good swap. If you can play D.Va, I would be playing D.Va the entirety of Ilios if I'm completely honest.
I can't play D.Va. I swapped D.Va to make it
for
back
contest.
To point.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But even then, Sigma occupies similar spaces to D.Va, just, you know, with no movement. So like these bunkers that we're seeing, stuff like that. After I've just seen the enemy team comp, I would not default onto Reinhardt here. The fact that you're...
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you actually swap at the start of this round?
No, I swapped a Ram, I think.
Yeah.
Partway through this, if I do swap.
So I don't like coaching based on player swaps and stuff like that. But here, this is just an indicator that you're not actually, like, critically thinking. As that's just because I can't put it in, like, a polite way to say it, right? They hard countered you. We forced it. We tried forcing it, and we got rolled. You know, you barely got any value into the enemy team comp because it's difficult. And now I will say it's easier to run this character on this map in comparison to the last one, given the comp matchup. But right now I would default on something where I can actually deal damage. Ram is decent into D.Va. Nice, we're trading and you're not doing anything to flip the tempo. You're walking back to peel when really you need to get more aggressive. This is where you can go in, try and trade attention on your own. Because if you charge in, hypothetically speaking, if you charge in when you realize that the numbers are even, yes, I know that they've rezzed. But Mercy is occupied rezzing. Hanzo is going to be looking at you. Ayari is going to be looking at you. They have low damage, they have low heals as it is. D.Va gets demeched. If you just go in now, D.Va gets demeched. Ayari can't even heal from this range. Mercy, in order to heal the D.Va, has to remove herself from the Pharah in a team comp where we have Anna Bap up and also Ashe, who's currently dead. But we need to try and drag D.Va away from her backline because the heal composition is so low. So low. Do you see what I'm saying? And one player on their team literally needs a healer permanently stuck on them. Yeah. Just to even be a character that's viable in the game. We can force swaps here. This is really good. I would be loving this matchup. Reinhardt's even viable into it. Look, You're seeing a purple D.Va. Why are you fire striking? D.Va, okay, that's another trigger. D.Va's purple. What do you think a D.Va is going to do when purple?
Back out.
Defense matrix, not even
And
back
DM,
out.
yeah.
So why are you going to fire strike something that's purple? Just swing. You want her to back out. Do you see what I'm saying? So by you swinging, not only has she just used DM for a bit, she's now going to fly out. And what do I say about D.Va? I don't know if you even consume my content like that, but what I always say about D.Va is if she uses boosters, she sacrifices space for 4 seconds. So where she's boosted away from, we can just go for free. For free. And this is exactly what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. Obviously, it's not done perfectly because the timing and the BAP dying and stuff like that. D.Va's flown away here, so what do? You go on the back line here. Because not only has she sacrificed areas of space here, she's also disabling herself from occupying other areas of space. It's like in the 6-man comp. So back in the day, Overwatch 1, we would used to run Monkey, D.Va, Sombra Reaper, Lucio Moira on maps like Gardens, like Ilios Gardens. Lijiang Gardens, sorry.
Lijiang, yeah.
And what we would do is our Sombra would play to hack the D.Va, but by doing that, we wouldn't hard focus the D.Va after that. We would hard focus the Monkey. Because that's all the frontline sustain gone and we're running a Reaper. Do you see what I'm saying? So, just because X does something doesn't mean that we have to go on X.
Yeah,
X being out of the equation means that we can go on Y.
Yeah.
And so I really like the logic of you identifying that, wait, Ayari is vulnerable here, so let's go on Ayari. I genuinely like the thought process there, even though the execution of it wasn't perfect. Right now, I still think you can force the Reinhardt. I still think that you can force the Reinhardt. But we're just trying to go on stuff. D.Va always wants to play second, right? In this matchup, D.Va always wants to play second.
Yeah.
If you go on something, D.Va's smiling because she knows she can just boost her and protect the team, right?
Yeah.
So what we need to do is force her to play first, right? Not committing cooldowns, right? Pretending to walk, baiting, trying to isolate ourselves so D.Va wants to try and delete something quickly. If our Ashe is in the open and then D.Va goes on to our Ashe, who cares if our Ashe dies? Our Ashe shouldn't die. But the fact that D.Va's gone onto our Ashe before we've committed a charge in, that's a W on our behalf.
Someone else. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So think about the matchup. That's one thing that you don't really understand yet, the matchups and how to play into matchups. That's your biggest issue right now. Playing objective intelligently and playing the matchup intelligently.
Yeah.
Reacting to context. I really like how you're going for isolations, people that are separate. But again, by going for isolations, you're ruining your team comp structure. So it's fine if you do that. Has to be situational. And you're identifying these isolations really well. So what you should just do is tell your DPS, wait, so-and-so's throwing, go on so-and-so. And then as you call that, your team's gonna all go on it. You just don't need to follow up. You know, you just don't need to do that. You can hold your structure if you feel like you can like actually go on them with your team as well. Then why not? If you're making the call, go on it. Just make sure people on your team can see that. You have way more sustain than them, so you can play more aggressive. You can swing at them. But right now, we're not playing objective. We're kind of tunneling on the individuals, trying to do more stuff. So it just comes down to 1 matchup and 2 playing objective or playing smart about the objective. Because good teams do not play to clear fights. They literally do everything they have to get that extra point percentage. We force point during trades and we actually cap point. D.Va is low, we can demech this. Fire strike that, nice. That's fine. They're committing ults. Unlucky that you don't get that charge. If you get that charge, you do a lot of damage. Your Ashe is spamming the Valk as it is. So I would literally have kept swinging on the D.Va. D.Va's flown away to peel for the Ashe. What has she done? She's left all this space for the backline. So now we walk on the backline. Do you see what I'm saying? You're 90 to shatter. You get shatter off here if you just dictate what's going on. The game is so predictable if you just analyze. Obviously, if you're analyzing the gameplay and you're thinking, like, it's gonna be hard to play when you're thinking, but the more you do it, the more it comes subconsciously, the faster you'll get at it. It's just like the gym, right? You need to learn how to do something, and at first it's gonna be very, very difficult, and it's not gonna feel natural, but it's going to feel natural if you're just picking up on these things. Because right now you're 92 to shatter and you're playing passively. They've only got you to half health. You've got the pocket on you. You're 98 to shatter. Why don't you just fling a fire strike? Get that shatter. And now, what can you do? You have point control.
Yeah.
So why are you even walking here? You have point control. You can back up here. You can play cover. You've got the point. You don't need to be doing anything. What do they need to do? D.Va's touch point here. You're here. You shatter her. You demech her. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Play objective over everything. Because right now, you're in control. D.Va's demeched. D.Va dies. And look at your ult value. You win this fight. If D.Va's demeched here, you win this fight. You don't need to be proactive at all points. Play the matchup intelligently. Did you block that?
I think I did, yeah.
Unlucky.
I think
One
Tor
person.
got hit.
Yeah. Completely fine though. There's so many shatter opportunities. You just shatter 2 there if you just shatter. Be proactive. You need to be patient but also proactive. Patience. Play the game smart. They don't know what you're doing. If you're bunkering here, they probably think that you're scared. You know, that's a sign for them to push. That's a sign for them to take a whole bunch of control. People are going to contest you point blank. Of course the junk is. It's a junk. Junk thinks, oh, he must be low. I'm going to out damage him real quick. But really, you can just destroy him. Now you've sacrificed point for no reason. Every percent counts. They would still be on 55 and you'd be on 44. By next contest, it would be even. I mean, you get another touch with 67%. That's like the highest you want them to get before, like, you know, touching the point becomes a bit of a challenge. You can now lose a fight on this point. But what do we want to do here? What's your plan? Let me test your ult tracking. You have 4 ults. You don't know what they have. Hypothetically speaking, your support forgets the ult track. You have 4 ults. What's your plan? How do you want to set up the fight? Ult first?
You want to set up the ult first, yeah.
Yeah. That's true. But now use that logic to literally call a plan. How do you want to play? Because if your team goes into every plan, we fight plan. So using your ults, come up with a plan of how to take this fight. I want to see your ult tracking. Sorry, not your ult tracking. Fight planning.
Fight plan. If you get an early shatter, you can just shatter a window. That probably wins the fight.
Okay. Cool.
You just go from there. You can save Torbolt for if they ever try to retake point because it's better there
and same
than it
with
is
Bob
in the
as well,
open.
yeah. So, what I would say, given the matchup, okay, cool. Yeah, so how we would usually fight plan is we do something called 1+1. So what we would do early and then what do we do in the mid fight. So you're planning to shatter early and then sustain with the window, which is fine. I have no issue with that. I think in the matchup it makes sense. But the majority of the time, me personally, if I was playing main tank here, I would say window early. Window early stops the push. They hide around corners because remember in high level, nobody dies to window. You know, you could try a window fire strike. D.Va probably eats it, but they'll back up. That's another 10% on the point. And then they're gonna use stuff. They're gonna go in, blah blah blah. Then we just shatter them. We shatter them mid fight. We might even need a third ult. But who cares if we have a third ult in this particular fight? Why?
Because we're behind on point and they've got 60 something.
Yeah. So based on the context of the fight, if we commit 3 here, ideally we don't want to, but if we commit window early, no one dies, we shatter, no one follows up, and then we bob, that should be enough to actually win the fight.
Yeah.
Even if they get like a couple trays for the tire. But the most important thing is, if the fight has gone on for 3 ults, chances
We've got a
are
load of point off of it.
we've got a load of point off of it, and we still go into final fight with 1 ult, the Torb, but that's not true. It's 2 ults.
Because we'll have Valk.
We'll have Valk. If the fight is long enough, we'll have Valk. So now we look at their ult charge. It's Diva Bomb, Hanzo Dragon, no synergy, versus Valk, Torb. 1 lockdown potential, forcing them to play in certain positions, and then Valk sustain so we can just walk on them. You know? They have a lot of zoning potential as well with their ults, but that Valk should be enough to actually get us out of dragons. The issue is if they Diva Bomb and force us into an area, a very tight area, and then dragon, that's the only way we lose final fight. Like, unironically. But we can be very, very smart about this. And I want you to be very specific with your ult plans. So I want you to set up based on how you want to play. Say, oh, can we do this early and then this mid fight? When really we're playing super passively. You're allowing them sightlines, you know? You're allowing them sightlines, because if you were here, Hanzo wouldn't be here. They would all be stacked here, and chances are if they're all stacked here, Ash wouldn't be ego dueling it. Obviously, there's a slight chance that they are. But now what do we have to do? We need to get the res off. You need to be proactive. We need to get the res off, so I need you to be shielding the res. Do you see what I'm saying? You just miss out on a lot of triggers to play the game well. That's all it is. Do you tend to get overwhelmed when you're playing the game?
I think it's less getting overwhelmed and more just I go on autopilot and I just start doing things.
But the cure for autopilot is literally being analytical, you know? If you actually are actively thinking every single fight. Autopilot is a bad issue. It's an issue that a lot of people have. But you're chilling. Like, you're actually chilling if you just think about the game. Every little thing that's going on, whether that's ult tracking, fight planning, I want you to be using your brain so you're actually proactive. Because right now, you seem lost. You know, not lost as in like, oh, I'm panicking, I don't know what to do. But it's like, you're sleeping in the middle of stuff. And even though what you're doing isn't like bad, it's just like it's just confusing, or it's just very laid back. You land a shatter here, then you fire strike something else.
I think I didn't think I'd landed the shatter there, that's
but
why.
You get a hit marker there.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, like, how do you just miss these cues? You need to be consciously aware of these cues. You get a hit marker, that should be the indicator to at least look at what you hit. Like, how do you not look at what you hit? How do you expect to miss that? That tells me you have in your head that you whiffed before it even connects. At this point, yeah, shielding the window is even a viable strategy. Your team out doing bad. Nice, you actually did it. And that's smart. That's high level. Personally, if you reacted late as well, if the Mercy's rezzing in front of my face, I go for the charge, because even if I don't connect, the chance of it booping, you know?
Yeah.
The chance of it booping and cancelling res regardless. Even if she gets the res off beforehand, she's gonna be still. So if she gets the res off, you can just kill the Mercy straight away. You're closing that gap, making it more likely for you to actually do stuff. Wait, John got another tire?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. This was an easy game. It was an easy game. You made it a lot harder than it actually was, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me just write down for you. Don't even look at this win-loss. I just played 3 games. Okay, right.